In today's video, I'm going to be talking about your relationship with your co-teacher. The roles of a co-teacher are the three kinds of co-teachers that you are most likely to interact with when you're teaching abroad, and suggestions and tips on how to navigate, maintain, or build a successful relationship with your co-teacher. Hi everyone, my name is Leah. Welcome back to my channel. If you are interested in what life looks like living and working abroad, this channel is for you. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about your co-teacher. He or she can be your best asset or your worst enemy. Let's just start off by defining what a co-teacher is and their roles that they serve in the classroom. It's where two teachers come together and they plan and strategize what is best for their students and what is best for the class. The actual definition of how a co-teacher best serves you changes and evolves based on a number of things. That includes the country that you're teaching in, the role that you actually serve in the classroom, and the kind of relationship that is expected in the classroom. In my experience, I have found that my relationship with my co-teachers fall into three specific categories. Co-teacher number one is the most ideal co-teaching experience that you can have. This is someone who is an equal partner in the classroom. They're a great communicator. They update you on changes. They provide suggestions for you to work well as a team. They give you feedback on your classes so that you can improve as a teacher. And basically the two of you come together really well because you're working for things that benefit the students and to have a well-run classroom. These teachers usually have a lot of experience working with foreigners. They have an understanding of the cultural differences and what teachers may be working through to have to acclimate to a different environment. And they find a way to establish a balance and ideal working environment that's best for you guys coming together as a team and also for the students. I also find them to be a little bit more flexible when it comes to trying to find that balance, that homeostasis that they need for the classroom. The other kind of co-teacher that you might experience is what I like to call the disappearing act. They use your English class as a time to either take a break from teaching for the day, or to get caught up on work for the day, or just disappear and have downtime altogether. They don't necessarily have input on what they expect in a classroom, and that might be for a myriad of reasons that prevents them from being readily available to you. The last kind of co-teacher, unfortunately, that I think some of you might experience is what I like to call the Trojan horse. This is the teacher that will come to you and want to partner with you and will present as if they are really friendly and they're really concerned, offering support and want you to tell them about your challenges, when what they're really doing is taking these inadequacies that you're learning to adapt to back to their boss to tell them why you're not a good teacher. Really, they're for malintentions. And they usually don't provide very much input or suggestions to support you because their intention is for you to fail. So when you fail, there's nothing that can come back on them. These teachers are non-confrontational. So if there's a problem that you have or that they have with you, they will take it up with everyone else except for you. In the reality of teaching ESL, it is likely that you're going to come across one of these three teachers. Now they may not be specifically A, B, or C. They might be like a little mishmash of all of these different personalities. I'm going to give you some suggestions and some food for thought on things that you can do to keep a positive relationship. Let's start with number one, this suggestion for the ideal partner. Now, you might think that having this ideal partner means that everything is hunky-dory and that you have found like your co-teacher bae for the year. But there are still efforts that I think that you should put forward to make sure that that relationship stays, that positive experience that you're having. It really helps when you involve your co-teacher in your lesson plans and your teaching strategies. This is because even though you are coming in as the expert English teacher, they know your students better than you do. So ask them for their ideas. Ask them what they need from you to have a better class. And I would also suggest that even if you think that you have better ideas, by incorporating their feedback somewhere in, a few of your lessons, it lets them know that you value what they have to say. It allows them to know that you actually heard them and you respect the knowledge that they have, and that you're trying to develop a partnership and not a competition. The disappearing act teacher can be a little bit tricky to manage, mostly for new ESL teachers that feel that they really would appreciate having that guidance and that support, and they're not getting it. Of course, I would always invite that teacher to be part of the curriculum and part of the class. Try to bridge that relationship and form that communication and ask for that feedback from that teacher. Even if they're not in the classroom, maybe some suggestions that they can give to you before they depart the classroom. If you're not getting the support you need and you really feel like you need help, I would also reach out to other teachers on Facebook or other ESL pages before you escalate it. Escalating this situation is twofold. You are coming in as a guest for 1 year in a culture that works with harmony. And when you snitch, it might be for the right reasons, but if you are creating a discord, you are no longer in harmony and you might become a target for a toxic work environment, especially in Asia. Number 2, you are still the expert. Your best effort is still going to make an impact on your student. I am really not for contacting administration if I can resolve this myself, even if it means without the co-teacher. 3, the Trojan horse, the 007 backstabbing agent. As as this may seem, I would encourage you to look at things from their point of view, as crappy as that may seem. There are so many things that are going on behind the scenes that a lot of ESL teachers do not know about. Teachers are not only stressed out with work, but in Asia, they have other responsibilities that stress them out and make them question their value in their job. Some of these things include like the director being responsible for meeting all of these deadlines, and the director realizing either he can't meet them or he doesn't want to, and he gives his deadlines to the teachers. For the sake of this video in Taiwan, there is also this push to make Taiwan fully bilingual by 2035. And a lot of native teachers really feel threatened. They feel threatened by their jobs, that foreigners are coming in and taking everything that they've worked for, the relationships that they've worked for with their students, the relationships that they've worked for with their parents and administration, and doing all of these extra things to show that they are part of the team. To have a foreign English teacher come in 1 year and then just take everything away from them. The behavior that they are exhibiting is more of self-preservation. Even though it is gossip and it's pettiness and it's childish, it's still self-preservation. This self-preservation can also include some really crappy stuff. Like they just might straight up lie on you, which, by the way, I'm not saying is okay. So here's my suggestions if you are dealing with a hostile and ineffective, unsupportive co-teacher. Number 1, I'm always going to ask you to make the effort to at least bridge a relationship with that teacher by talking to them. Ask them for their ideas, include them in things, let them know that they're important. If that does not work, then it becomes time for you to do the best that you can of your ability with this co-teacher that you're working with. I would first say you keep it strictly professional. Don't be a jerk. Speak to them when you see them in the morning. But most importantly, you need to remember that you are working on a continent where looks and teamwork are everything. And you can use that to your advantage. Start by making sure that their boss, which is probably your boss, their higher up, make sure that they know that you have a good relationship with your students. Come in early so that you can greet them. Stay after a couple days a week so that you can say goodbye and introduce yourself to the parents. Make sure they have a glimpse of you having fun with them during break, in between classes, talking to them in the hallways. Make sure that they know that you have gone out of your way to establish and maintain a good relationship. So another thing that I did to ensure that administration knew that I had a really great relationship with my students was I created a conversation sheet for all of my students, second grade all the way up to 6th. And these conversation sheets were literally just an exchange between myself and the student. So the student would practice saying, "Hi, my name is Mike. Nice to meet you." And then I would say, "My name is Leah. Nice to meet you too. Where are you from?" And then they would read, "I am from Korea," or "I am from Vietnam," or "I am from Thailand, Taiwan." They would practice these conversations with me in between classes or during their lunch break. I had maybe 20 or 25 conversations that they practiced throughout the year. And once they got 10 conversations with me with no mistakes, they either got like a sticker, or I had a jar of mini marshmallows and they got one marshmallow and I signed off on it like, "Good job speaking." So this allowed them to take that success back to their homeroom teacher, back to their principal, back to the director, and back to their parents. And because it is something that is consistent and ongoing and is encouraged outside of my regular working hours, it is showing that I am still engaged and still engaging and enjoying what I'm doing in making sure that I am teaching English. I have kids at certain schools that during their 20-minute break and in between classes, they jump rope. I literally jump rope with my kids. I have kids that love to go to the library on one of my off periods of one of my schools, and so I will go in and I will read books just for the fun of it, or I might help them with their homework. I do it because I enjoy it. But if it is something that will help you with a toxic work environment, this might be something that you also want to consider. The most important thing that I think to remember through all of this is that if you tried everything under the sun and nothing is working and you are really just not happy, please do not feel compelled to stay. It's okay to find another job. Your school cannot threaten you. They cannot insist that you find a replacement. That is illegal. You're not a failure for wanting a more ideal teaching environment, especially if you put forth all this effort and nothing is happening. So those are some of the things that you might think about when you are experiencing your relationship with your co-teacher. Now, what about the other side? What are some things that foreigners do coming in the door that sets the tone for how they perceive that their experience will go with you? You should watch this video.